Stop. Imagine a light switch. Up. The room is bright. Down. Everything is dark. That is how most people think about retirement. One day, you are working. The next day, you are not. On. Then off. But here is the problem. When you flip a light switch off, the room goes dark immediately. And most people run out of money before they run out of life. Today, I am going to show you a better way. It is called a dimmer switch. A dimmer switch costs $20 at a hardware store. But it changes everything. You can run at 80% for a few years. Then 60%. Then 40%. By the time the lights are fully off, you barely notice the change. That is soft retirement. Not a slower exit. A richer exit. And here is the secret. Most financial advisors never sell you the dimmer. Why? Because it is hard to put in a brochure. Hard to explain in 5 minutes. Hard to make money from. So they sell you the switch. On or off. And 46% of people get hurt. Right now. Stick with me for 20 minutes. I will show you how to build your dimmer. And save hundreds of thousands of dollars. You probably think the biggest risk in retirement is running out of money. That is what everyone says. But it is not true. The biggest risk is the first 5 years. There is a researcher named Wade Pfau. He studied decades of data. He found that 77% of your retirement success is decided in the first 10 years. Just 10 years. Morningstar, a big research company, did the same analysis. They found that nearly 70% of people who ran out of money had losses in the first 5 years. Here is why. Imagine you have a bucket of money. Every year, you take some out to live on. If the market drops, and you keep taking money out, you are selling your shares when they are cheap. Those shares are gone forever. When the market recovers, your bucket is smaller. It never fully recovers. That is called sequence of returns risk. Big words. Simple idea. Bad timing at the beginning ruins everything. Even if the market is great later. But here is the good news. That risk almost completely disappears. If you have even a little income in the first few years, the dimmer does not need to be bright. It just needs to be on. Now let me add Social Security to the picture. Social Security is a check from the government. You paid into it your whole working life. Here is how the timing works. If you start at age 62, you get 70% of your full amount. If you start at age 67, you get 100%. If you wait until age 70, you get 124%. The difference between starting at 62 and waiting until 70? About 77% more. Every single month. For the rest of your life. Let me show you real numbers. The average American gets about $2,116 per month. If they start at 62, $1,481 per month. If they wait until 70, $2,624 per month. The difference is $1,143. Every month. Over a 20-year retirement. That is more than $270,000. All from when you fill out one piece of paper. Now here is the connection. Every year you work a little, soft retirement. You do not have to start Social Security early. Your savings keep growing. One transition. 2 wins at the same time. Most retirement plans only get one. Soft retirement gets both. Now I am going to show you something sneaky. Inside Medicare, the government health insurance for older people, there is something called IRMA. It is an extra fee on top of your regular payment. In 2026, the regular payment is $22 per month. But if your income goes above $109,000 for a single person, or $218,000 for a couple, your payment jumps to $284 per month. Per person. Here is the trap. Your 2026 payment is based on your income from 2024. 2 years ago. If your consulting work went well in 2024, and you crossed that line, you get the higher bill in 2026. After you are already on Medicare, you cannot go back. You cannot earn less in 2024 now. It is a trap with a 2-year fuse. Most advisors do not even mention this. Not because they are bad people, because they do not know. Or because checking for these numbers is what separates a good advisor from an average one. A good advisor builds your income around these lines. An average advisor finds out about them when it is too late. Here is the second trap. It is called the Social Security earnings test. Before you reach full retirement age, which is 67, if you already started Social Security, and you earn more than $24,480 per year, your Social Security is reduced by $1 for every $2 you earn above the limit. Let me make this simple. You start Social Security early, say, age 62. Then your consulting work takes off. You earn $30,000. That is $5,520 above the limit. Your Social Security is reduced by $2,760. You lose half of what you earned above the limit. This is not a mistake in the system. This is the system. But here is the key. It is only a trap if you already started Social Security. If you have not started yet, the limit does not apply. You can earn as much as you want, and your future Social Security keeps growing. So the correct order is 1. Work a little, soft retirement. 2. Do not start Social Security yet. 3. Stay under the income limits. 4. At age 70, turn on full benefits. It is not complicated. But most people do the opposite. They start Social Security early. Then they try to work a little. And they fall into the 50-cent trap. Let me introduce you to Elon. Elon is 62 years old. He worked in manufacturing for 32 years. He saved $700,000. His financial plan was reviewed many times. Everything looked good. One Friday in October 2019, Elon retired. Clean retirement. The switch. On, then off. 5 months later. March 2020. The stock market dropped 34% in 5 weeks. Elon had been taking money from his savings for 5 months. He had no income coming in. He was paying over $2,000 per month for health insurance. Because he was 62 and Medicare was 3 years away. His savings dropped from $700,000 to $460,000. No income coming in. No way to stop spending. He did the only thing he could. Elon went back to work. Not because he wanted to. Because the math forced him. A contractor job at a company his old employer had bought. Less money. No benefits. The exact kind of work that reminds you why you left. As of 2026, Elon is still rebuilding his savings. He is waiting on Social Security. And he knows. The dimmer would have changed everything. He brings it up at dinner parties now. So often that his wife has a special look on her face when he starts. Now let me tell you about Linda. Linda is 60 years old. She was an hour director for 28 years. She did not stop working. She dimmed the lights. She negotiated with her old employer. 3 days a week of consulting. plus 2 other small clients. Her soft retirement income: $6,200 per month. She does not touch her savings. She is waiting until 70 for Social Security. Here is what happened next. 8 months into her consulting arrangement, she received a full-time job offer. Good title. Familiar industry. Serious money. Her brain did what brains do under pressure. It reached for the familiar. The structure. The thing that used to answer the question, "Who are you?" But Linda had done something before she started her transition. She wrote down what fully retired looked like. A specific date. A paragraph about what a normal Tuesday looked like. Pickleball at 9 a.m. No quarterly business reviews anywhere on the calendar. She looked at that piece of paper. She turned the job down. 2 years later, her savings are almost untouched. Her Social Security is on track. She consults about 8 hours per week. She is winning. Not because she is more disciplined than Elon. Because she designed the transition before the transition started. Here is how to build your dimmer. 4 levels. Each one builds on the one before. Level 1. Income. Find consulting income that covers at least 50% of your fixed monthly costs, housing, utilities, minimum bills. If your costs are $5,000 per month, you need $2,500. This is shock absorber mode. The difference between taking 3% from your savings each year versus 5% over 30 years? That is the difference between leaving money for someone you love and running out. Level 2. Social Security. Go to ssa.gov this week. Calculate your benefit at 3 ages: 62, 67, and 70. Write the numbers down on paper. When you see 3 numbers side by side, the decision to protect your start date stops being abstract. Level 3. The thresholds. Memorize 2 numbers. $109,000 for the Medicare extra fee, IRMA. $24,480 for the Social Security earnings test. Find an accountant who has worked with these numbers before. Not someone who has to look them up. Level 4. Identity. Write down what fully retired looks like. Before you start your transition. A specific date. A paragraph about a normal Tuesday. People skip this step because it sounds like psychology. But it determines whether your financial plan actually happens. Or slowly falls apart because the person running it never fully decided to run it. A financial plan without an identity plan is a house without walls. 3 simple moves. Do them this week. Move 1. Go to ssa.gov. Write down your Social Security numbers at 62, 67, and 70. Tape them to your refrigerator. Move 2. Name 1 specific service from your career. Not strategy or leadership. A specific problem you have solved at least 50 times. Who would pay you to solve that problem? Even $3,000 per month in the first 3 years changes your retirement math by hundreds of thousands. Move 3. If you have a financial advisor, ask them to run your retirement model twice. Once with 3 years of consulting income. Once without. Compare the results. Ask them, are you selling me a switch or a dimmer? If they look uncomfortable, you just learned something important. 10 years of boring, cheap, index fund investing. Plus 2 or 3 years of soft retirement will beat almost every complicated strategy that people spend years reading about at midnight. Not sometimes. Almost every time. Compound interest works. Delaying Social Security works. Preserving your savings works. The shock absorber works. Your job is not to be a market genius. Your job is to understand the system. Structure your exit correctly. And hold the line when your brain starts trying to negotiate with you. Here is what you will do right now. 1. Hit subscribe, because the YouTube algorithm will not show you the next video if you do not. 2. Send this video to one person who needs it. A parent, a friend, a coworker who talks about retirement. Say, watch this before you decide to stop working. 3. Write one number in the comments. Your age. Just a number. I want to see who is building their dimmer right now. And 1 year from now, we will come back to these comments. And you will tell me how it is going. The data says 46% of people retire earlier than they planned. Do not be in that 46%. Build your dimmer. Protect your date. And I will see you in the next video.